In this dev blog, I'm going to cover the tribal production elements in my game, as that's something I've recently updated. But before that, tribes now have several followers, and if you have enough herds, you'll also get a cow or equivalent animal depending on what you have. So that's nice. So buildings are something that, well, buildings are needed for production, hence why I'm talking about buildings. Buildings are something that settlements have. For instance, this settlement has farms, a pottery, and a sewer. The farms and pottery give resources, used to make resources, and the sewer reduces filth, so your people have less squalor, so they don't die as much, which allows you to build a bigger city. But tribes don't have any of that, really. If they want to have buildings, well, they move around, and you can't have a moving building. So what they have to do is they have to build them when they're camped, and they can only have buildings when they're camped, or they can move the buildings around with them, but buildings have weight. There's some kind of like benefit given buildings, like a tent, which protects you in the winter. So we have some of those. We can see our carry capacity increases in the and we can have stuff like a potter's workshop or a vineyard. And to build any of this, we need the wood resource. So here's wood, and yeah, that's wood. You have to be near it to use it. If you don't have any of it, you can't use it. And there's other resources such as wine, which is a valuable resource, and these are called resource tiles. So like wine, and then there's copper here, and over here there's there would be, but I can't see it because I'm so far away, there would be tin, or silver actually, I think. And these resources are useful for the player as, you know, you can use them. And something else I've also worked on is the tribal happiness. So before, happiness used to be kind of a bit of a simplistic, well, not exactly simplistic, but not very good. Each pop in a tribe would want a number of resources, and depending on how many resources they had, that happiness would either go up or go down, with each resource every month ticking it up or down one. If they had it or they didn't have it, then to a maximum and minimum. For instance, if you didn't have any of the desired resources a pop wanted, for instance, you can see here that a pop might say wants pottery or textiles, then it's going to tick down by like 5. However, that adds an additional problem that if you do have one of those resources, it will tick up by 1, but because it's ticking down by 4, it won't improve at all. So I decided to make it a bit more dynamic. And now all the resources are averaged. So you have the available resources over all of the desired resources. And that then goes onto the point on a if it's like point on a kind of a spectrum of, like, say the minimum can be 20 and the maximum 80, and that goes into a point based on, you know, what proportion of that is there, and then the pop's actual happiness will go towards that. So if you do get a little bit of something valuable, they will kind of increase in their happiness for at least a little bit, and that kind of creates more dynamic actions. But still, like, a noble pop now still wants a lot more resources. You know, it wants some very rare stuff like art and amber and salt, but it won't get really unhappy if it doesn't have those resources. So I think that's a massive improvement to how pops work and their happiness works. So if you like this dev blog, if you think the game's interesting, because there's a lot more to it than just this, a lot more complex systems, then like, subscribe, and you can wishlist it on Steam. There's a link in the description.